Hey guys, Brian Stevens here with Mortgage Shots. Listen, I think we stumbled across what might be the biggest story not only in our business but the country. We're talking about a $50 trillion book of business that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac own 50% of, with their implicit guarantee where the government's on the line. Now, we already saw this happen with HUD and FHA, where they took the onus of responsibility for future foreclosures and they put that on the shoulders of the taxpayers. Now, I think we're seeing the same thing again. So one day after meeting with Trump, CEO Alex Karp of Palantir is partnering with the FHFA, Fannie Mae, and Freddie Mac to use their SPY software to root out mortgage fraud. On Wednesday morning, Fannie Mae President and CEO Priscilla Almondover took to the stage at Fannie Mae's headquarters with Federal Housing Finance Administration FHFA Director Bill Pulte, who hold them in conservatorship. And they did this with Palantir Technologies, who Alex Karp is the CEO of. The trio announced a partnership between the government-sponsored enterprises, the GSEs, that being Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and Palantir to root out mortgage fraud. So now the question we have to ask ourselves is, who is Alex Karp and why does this matter? First, there's money in finding fraud. There is no money in not finding fraud. So ask yourself, is Karp going to find fraud? And the answer is yes. Karp says, what most people misunderstand about the nature of fraud terrorism, he used the word terrorism, is that most of the damage is done by 1 or 2% of the professional actors out there, and they do actually have a way of modeling where they can commit fraud at scale. And it tends to be where technology breaks. Now, Karp added to this, Palantir can search for and detect fraud in a way that also protects the underlying data and protects the privacy of people submitting their loan forms. So the next question is, who in the heck is Palantir? Well, according to NPR, they're a secretive tech company that's rising under the Trump administration. What do they do? And here's a quote. Now, in Trump's second term, Palantir is emerging as a key private contractor as the administration intensifies its crackdown on people who are in the United States illegally. Further, when asked by an audience member if Pulte planned on including Freddie Mac into what Palantir is doing, he said, quote, look at involving Freddie if fraud detection works at Fannie Mae. In other words, both of the GSEs are going to be under the jurisdiction of Palantir, a private contractor who has a military background. Yes, weaponizing everything. So going forward, Almondover said that Fannie Mae is prioritizing fraud detection for multifamily properties, with Pulte claiming that occupancy fraud is absolutely out of control right now. Another audience member asked whether enlisting Palantir Technologies is a backward-looking effort to find fraud in existing mortgages or forward-looking to prevent fraud in the future at Fannie Mae mortgages. Almondover said that it's looking forward with Palantir. A slightly more technological reframe would be, is it predicated or not, Karp said. Predicated based and predicate means that you have an idea of where to look, and non-predicated means you don't have any idea where to look, and they are by far a predicated company. Guys, Trump is a low administrative president who wants things to run without any type of interference. Palantir is an AI tech-based company that gathers all of your information and does so very quietly. They run under the radar on purpose. They're now putting their warfare-based skill set and they're applying that to our mortgages. Why are they doing this? Because they see a wave of foreclosures coming and they do not want to get caught with a bill. The best way to do that is to find fraud. They're looking for it. So loan officers, you have to write clean loans. No ditching a signature anywhere, and no pushing income, because they're looking and they're going to find it if you like it or not, if it's real or not. They're doing this because Trump announced Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are going to go public, but they're keeping the government implicit guarantee on $50 trillion in loans. By doing this, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac make themselves vulnerable to a $50 trillion portfolio of loans that they don't want to pay out any money on anything, and they're pushing it off on the taxpayer. And the best way to do this is to move the onus of responsibility onto your shoulders. And this is what Palantir intends to do. Now, we're going to be bringing you more about these changes, but suffice it to say this, the government has very quietly, over the past 6 months, they have placed themselves in a position to where they are not going to pay for a wave of foreclosures, a tsunami of foreclosures that are inevitably going to come. Those foreclosures, guys, for me and you, people who write loans, when we write them clean, it works out really well for us because every one of those foreclosures requires a mortgage. And me and you, we're going to write those suckers. I hope this helps.